The motto of Brigham Young University's independent study program is, "Finish at home what you started at BYU." This motto has been a nagging reminder to my mom for the past 24 years, but now it serves as a statement of victory. She has finished at home what she started at BYU. As we celebrate the graduation of my mother, Christina Murray, I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak briefly to you about the traits that make her a true lifelong learner and which have enabled her to persevere through the past 2.5 decades to earn her bachelor's degree. These qualities include my mom's persistence and ability to prioritize, as well as her dedication to hard work. Persistence and prioritization have been two key themes in my mom's educational journey. She began her college experience at BYU studying German. A dedicated student, she spent 2 years studying on campus. With my birth and my father's graduation and our family's subsequent move to Texas, my mom felt it was best that she put her education on hold so that she could focus on supporting her young family as they entered a new stage of life. At various points, she resumed her education briefly, only to have other events in life take precedence. She began classes through independent study for the first time just before I entered kindergarten, but shortly thereafter was called to be an early morning seminary teacher. With 2 young children and a husband who traveled often for work, school once again took a back seat. A few years later, she enrolled in more courses, only to be called as the Relief Society president in a demanding ward. Recognizing that the Lord needed her time in this calling, she once again discontinued her studies. Several years later, after her release from that calling, she once again resumed classes. Only a year later, however, our family adopted 3 children and moved, and my mom chose to again put her school aside. This pattern repeated several more times. I've always been impressed with my mom's ability to prioritize the most important things in life and to realize that learning doesn't just happen in the classroom. Truly committed lifelong learners understand that life can teach them more than any textbook can. My mom's dedication to learning from whatever situation was most pressing at the time, be that formal coursework or family affairs, is characteristic of those whose appreciation for knowledge is deeply rooted and enduring. Abigail Adams once said, "Learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought for with ardor and attended to with diligence." Gaining her degree also proved to be a positive litmus test for my mother's commitment to hard work. I remember clearly the course my mom took on deciphering old handwriting. Though I was fairly young when she took the class, I vividly remember looking over her shoulder at what looked to me like a 2-year-old's doodles and swirls as she labored, textbook in hand, in an attempt to decode a mass of loops one letter at a time. It was a laborious process and not one that my mom enjoyed. She spent hours on that class, and I remember how much effort she put into assignments and test preparation. This was a clear example to me of the hard work needed for learning. My mom probably could have dropped the class or at least just tried to skate by with a passing grade. Instead, though, she chose to commit to the ardor and diligence spoken of by Abigail Adams. During my growing up years, my mom often said, "No halfway jobs." Often this was in reference to the way my siblings and I did our chores, but my mom clearly lived out this sentiment in the way she approached her schoolwork. My mom no longer has the imposed rigor of a formal classroom, but the commitment to hard work which she developed and displayed throughout the process of gaining her degree will surely make possible her continued learning, growth, and development. In reality, a diploma is just a fancy piece of paper. Though long awaited, a piece of paper is not truly what we celebrate today. Instead, we celebrate the person my mom has become through this process, a lifelong learner, a woman with the ability to prioritize while also laboring diligently for academic learning. For years, my brother and I teased my mom whenever an advertisement for independent study came on BYU TV in between general conference sessions. She'd roll her eyes and we'd poke at her with a playful, "Yeah, Mom, finish what you started." As I reflect on the road that has led my mom to this day, I realize that in reality, my mom will never be finished with what she started at BYU. Her time at BYU was a starting place for her love of and commitment to education, which will continue far beyond the bachelor's degree that she now holds. Thank you.